catch. I'll hold.
Okay, the motion on the floor is Member Hickman's secondary amendment, which is indicated in blue on the screen. Is there a debate on the pending motion? For what purpose?
Question for the maker of the motion.
Recognized.
So is Member Hickman intending to exclude works used in classroom instruction? I just wonder what's the intent? What are you trying to exclude from this provision, from this amendment?
Would you like to respond, Member Hick? Recognized.
Sure. Thank you, Chair. What I would say is what I said when I offered the amendment is I imagine the second grade classroom where there's a bunch of bookshelves of books the kids can pick from. The language that's struck in blue would require every time every student selects one of those books, the teacher or the school district would have to provide a notification to the parent. I think that's an enormous burden. That's what I'm trying to correct here with the whole group amendment and with the stricken language and this provision applies sentence.
For what purpose, Member Pickering?
Further clarification.
Recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So again, I believe, and maybe legal can advise on this also, I believe that where this lives is in instructional materials and not library classroom materials and library materials. Is that correct?
Chair called a question.
Tim Davis.
Yeah, so we've got two statutes here that are referenced. If you look at the thing as a whole, you've got 260062 at the top, which is talking about this required disclosure regarding the instructional plan. But then at the end, we've got TEC 33024, which talks about the parental access to student library records. That's where the parent has the right to look at the record of what a child has checked out. And library materials in that statute is defined very broadly and would include classroom libraries, for instance. So there's a little bit of I guess that's those, including those two statutes makes this very broad to apply to, I guess, any material, if I'm answering your question, whether it's defined as instructional material, library material, et cetera, it's broad that way.
Okay, and I guess I have another question. So both of these statutes apply to literary works, library books in the classroom, correct?
Yes, if that library book is considered an instructional material, yes.
Okay, and I just have one more question for legal, Mr. Chairman, if I may. If that library book is considered instructional material, then all of this does apply to it, correct?
All of this being what's in green on the screen, yes.
Yes, sir. So striking any part of this would be striking what is required by law.
Well, I don't. So 260062 is, now that I had a chance to look at it, I mean, this is accomplishing what is set out there. It's not doing it verbatim by copying the text of the statute over, but it is accomplishing what is within the statute and the intent of that statute, it appears. And so if I'm understanding your question, I mean, it's not going to violate the law or go against the law. It looks like it's capturing what is in the law.
And what's in the green?
Yes.
Okay, and so if we remove
Chair called a question.
If we remove portions that are in the green, then we're not fulfilling the full intent of the law, correct?
Well, I don't know that I can say that. I mean, I've got to look and see, I guess, what got removed because, there are portions where, you could still probably remove and still accomplish what is set out in 0062. But I guess it's just going to depend on what phrase is pulled out.
Thank you.
You recognize call the question, Member Hickman.
Chair, call the question.
The motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The question has been called. The question on the floor is Member Hickman's amendment as depicted in blue on the screen. Ready to vote? All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. 8, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 3, 8, 3, motion carries. Now we're back to the primary amendment as amended by Member Hickman. Member Maynard for an attempted restatement.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I move to restate the motion omitting the charter school language or charter school. And if I can get a second on that, let me explain and then we can go from there.
Can you tell me again?
What are you, charter school?
We'll try to do it without objection if possible.
But it's okay. But if I can get a second. Oh, that's right. I don't need to do that. Okay. So
just tell us what you're trying to do.
Okay, so we received word that actually the statute that this is based on does not apply to a charter school. I know that's not a popular position with some around this table, but understand we are a rulemaking body, we're not the legislature. We could leave the charter school language in there, but there would be a risk of a challenge. It's probably severable, but it's probably this board, in terms of rulemaking, would be going out on a little bit of a limb on that. And so to stay true to the law, that we would need to omit the charter school language.
Is there any objection to the restatement?
Objection.
Okay, all those in favor of allowing Member Maynard to restate, please show up by raising your hand. Five, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 7, 5, 7, the motion fails. Okay, so we're back to the amendment as depicted on the screen in green.
Point of information.
What's your point of information?
I was a little bit slow because I was trying to read here, so I actually didn't vote. However, I just wanted to find out from legal what the ramifications would be. I understand the sense that we're aiming to be fair to the public schools, and I get what Member Maynard is trying to do here, but Mr. Davis, if you could tell me what effect does leaving the charter school language in does to this text, and then separately to Member Maynard, I thought the intent of this amendment, correct me if I'm wrong, was to allow schools to choose literary works that are not posted for their particular grade, but they could do that, basically do the advanced year. And I think your argument yesterday or one of these days was that our charter school system has shown that, this is possible. So would we even need this amendment then, since it doesn't take into, it doesn't account for charter schools? 2 questions. In effect, do we even need this amendment? This is my question to Mr. Maynard, and separately the question for Mr. Davis.
Well, I think that there's just in terms of how rulemaking operates, and a lot of rule that we do simply restates or captures statutory language. So typically when teachers and administrators and when schools begin to look for guidance in the TEKS, this is what they're looking for. By capturing this language here in the rule, we're simply restating what the law has already directed them to do, and keeps them from having to go to another source and dig that up out of the education code. So, I would compare that if you've ever looked at like the UIL side by side, the UIL side by side, takes all of the statutory language, all the rule language, all this stuff like that, puts it in one place for people who operate in that universe. And essentially that's what we're doing is that we're taking the statutory language and we're putting it here and letting them know that as it relates to what we're doing right here, this is what is required by law. We are simply capturing that in the rule text so they can see it. And so really what this is it's a little bit of a service to the people that are going to be doing this to keep them from having to go find another source. And frankly, it's a protection for them and to keep them from running afoul of the law by putting it in rule text. I guess, and just as a follow-up is that just because we don't put it in the rule text doesn't change the fact that it's in law.
That's right.
Discussion.
You're recognized for a brief discussion, please.
So for my brief discussion, I'm opposed to the wording in green because I don't think what we're saying is exactly what's in statute. The law is the law. I think we're changing the wording of that, and I agree exactly with what Mr. Maynard said. The law is still there regardless of whether to do or not. So not having this in there doesn't create a problem. It doesn't create a loophole. I think we're actually, as I said earlier, mucking it up by some of the language in here. But I think the law is very clear, and I would, unless we just change this to restate the statute exactly, I'm not in favor of this.
Mr. Chair,
Little.
I call the question.
Point of information.
Which point of information?
I asked the question to the attorney, which would guide my vote, and I'm still waiting.
Tim Davis.
And I apologize, Member Francis. I think I heard half your question. So would you mind restating the full question so I can give you a good answer?
Sure, sir. So the question is the language with the charter school, if leaving the language for charter schools in this amendment as shown on screen, what effect would that have? I'm seeking your legal advice because we heard earlier from some source that this particular chapter does not apply to charter schools. So and I also heard that this language is just a restatement of law already somewhere else. So I'm just concerned about having the charter school language in here if we don't have authority.
Yeah, certainly. So what you're doing is you're synthesizing two different statutes into one rule, which, I'll leave the wisdom of that to you all as a policymaking group. But 260062 only applies to public schools, school districts. It does not apply to open enrollment charter schools. The difficulty with what's on the screen is that 33024 does apply to school districts and to open enrollment charter schools. So you two statutes with two different applications here into one rule. And so in terms of what is the risk, I guess that's for this body to decide, do you all set the floor as it relates to this, or excuse me, does the statute set the floor, you all set the ceiling? Or do you all want to, just verbatim, I guess Member Ellis's point, verbatim just go from what is in 260062, and I think that's a policy decision for them all to make.
Just a follow-up, Mr. Davis. So are you saying that the 26.0062 of the Education Code, which just for the audience and people following, that's the portion of the code that has the selected literary works list, correct? And the 33.024 is a section of code dealing with notifications for all public schools.
No, sir. 260062 talks about the disclosure regarding instruction plan. So, I mean, that would include what you guys are doing with the list, but it also would include other things beyond the list. Instruction plan is broad there. And then 33.
Sorry, before you go on, and that does not apply to charter schools?
That is not. It's only a place, it says each school district, and that's where it stops.
Okay, sorry, and carry on, and 30.
Yeah, and 33024 talks about notification to parents if a child goes into a school library, checks out a book. The system is making a record of that and notifying a parent. That does apply to open enrollment charter schools as well as school districts.
Question's been called. The motion's shown in green as amended. All those in
No,
favor?
miss, point of information,
Which
please.
point of information?
So all in green, what what is this? It's,
Everything on green, in green on the screen.
so yes, everything in green? Was that what Dr. Ellis? I just need help me.
The motion we're about to vote on is in green on the screen.
A yes to keep, a no?
A yes to add it, a no to defeat it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. Three, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 737, the motion fails. Are there further amendments?
I do.
You're recognized for a moment, Member Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, we need to add some implementation language. And so I'm sure that we'll have some robust discussion around this. And I know that there are folks that have some different opinions on this. I guess, Mr. Chairman, would we want to look at these all together or one at a time? I think we probably need to look at them. I would think so.
Okay, we'll look at them all together. They're highly interrelated. Mayor Maynard.
Mr. Chairman, the amendment I'm about to make is reflective of Plan A for the rollout.
Point of order.
What's your point of order?
Who made this? Who seconded?
We haven't made the motion yet.
He's saying what his motion is going to be.
Okay.
I second your motion.
This is the implementation date. So on the first one, this would be for grades 6 through 8, and adds this language. For grade 6, 2030, 31, 32. And by the way, everything else before that, defaults to 30, 31. So this puts grade 6, beginning with the 2031, 32 school year. And then grade 7 and 8 implemented 32, 33. And then down to the next one that would apply to ELAR, 119, 110. For high school, would be 33, 34. If you scroll down, the next one is for grade 6 and ELLA. And in grade 7, 8, this is your SLAR for chapter 128. And so it would essentially be the same thing, but just this is for SLAR. So it'd be 31, 32, and then 32, 33. And then also high school SLAR, this be chapter 128, 33, 34.
Point of information, Chair.
What's your point of information?
Do we have this language somewhere, or is this just being presented?
Well, you've seen it. Well, the language is meant to depict option A from the presentation the other day, which I just went and asked Shannon to pull up so that she can show that.
Thank you.
Yes. And on the website, this is listed under Chairman Kinsey's name, but because he can't make a motion, he asked Mr. Maynard to make this motion on his behalf.
For what purpose, Member Brooks?
To debate or discuss, Mr. Chair,
Just a second. Shannon, can you show what this looks like? Do y'all want to see what it looks like visually first? Okay, that's what I thought.
Information, Chairman.
For what purpose, Member Childs?
I wanted to know, were we on discussion, first reading or second reading as it relates to what we're about to move for?
Second reading. Yes, please. I've asked Dr. Trejo to bring up her presentation from earlier in the week regarding this so that we can remember what we talked about. Looks for discussion.
Thank you. Yes. I have two questions for Dr. Trejo. May I speak with, yeah, thank you so much. So Dr. Trejo, I have two questions. So I'm assuming that in the language that was presented by Member Maynard, it said sixth grade to be implemented in 2031. So was there a place where he said K through fifth grade would be implemented in 2030 to 2031? Did I miss that? Where's K through fifth grade?
I believe there was a motion made that was passed by Mr. Hickman during the week related to all courses, stating no earlier than 3031. And I believe that Mr. Maynard referenced that K through 5 would remain in the 3031, and he was offering amendments beginning in sixth grade.
Okay, so because my question is, where did kindergarten through fifth grade go? So your kindergarten through fifth grade is starting in 2030, 3031, but I didn't say 31. Is that what it says in the real text? It says 2030, 31. Okay.
Yes.
So kindergarten through fifth grade is written where here?
I don't believe Member Maynard is offering an amendment for kindergarten through fifth grade right now.
Because what he just mentioned is he wants to start sixth grade only. So we want publishers to only publish their.
I may need to get some help from Member Hickman, who already offered an amendment earlier in the week related to 3031. No earlier than 3031 was already offered. That applies to K through 5.
So I think it does not reflect that in the amendment that was brought before Maynard. Am I wrong there? K through fifth grade will start the new TEKS in 2030? Is that what I'm?
Yes. K through 5 is 3031. What Member Maynard is offering is this plan.
Okay, because I didn't see it in the text. Could you just point to that? And sixth grade not together with all middle school, just sixth grade and now why are you, so I'm thinking, why is it staggered where not all elementary school would start together and then stagger it to all middle school together and then stagger it all to high school together?
Yes, ma'am. Valid question. Thank you for that. We went over the 4 criteria that we used to look at different scenarios for implementation. Part of those criteria included best student experience, best experience for teachers to receive training, fiscal implications of these plans, as well as curriculum writing for those who need to get the instructional materials together and put out. The reason sixth grade is in an isolated place, particularly for social studies, and we were offering this for both social studies and literary works, is in social studies, we are changing a whole new, they're going from sixth grade world cultures to a whole new thing. So it was going to provide more time to do that. For literary works, keep in mind that sixth grade also requires some Spanish language materials. So this would give time to curriculum writers to ensure that those materials are readily available and can be put out in the classrooms. The best experience for students, again, we felt, and we got feedback from publishers as well on this, was option A or option B. That's the information. So we're looking at student experience, teacher training, and again, the transition with teacher training, we're switching out all social studies, and we are looking at different literature as well. Felt like sixth grade needed more time, particularly for teacher training.
So, because ideally, wouldn't all middle school teachers, I mean, they're together, they could, I mean, I would think your training would look better when you have them all together, your sixth, seventh, and eighth, right? Like, I don't understand.
So we were trying to, if literary lists and social studies are all going to go at the same time, we were trying to be helpful to districts in that we're creating a similar experience for that training. In social studies, sixth grade is completely new. 7 and 8 is more familiar, so it's easier to group them together.
Okay.
If you've got all of the implementation the same, then you could run sixth grade in 1 year for both lit lists and social studies, and then do 7th and 8th grade lit lists and social studies.
Real quick, while you're in that vein, can you tell me on page 7 how this connects to this chart here? So 2029, 2030 students are still learning the old history, the existing history, right? It's not new, the new TEKS, existing TEKS,
existing
29, 30, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, no further questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Maynard, did you want to be recognized for discussion?
Well, I just wanted to just respond maybe to Member Brooks.
Recognized.
Yeah, and so these are time certain implementation dates. It's my understanding that there is a need to go back to fix what is in K through 5, to change that no earlier than to a time certain, but that's not part of this amendment.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So that's it's one of those pinky promises. We got to go back and do that.
Mr. Chair, may I, Mr. Chair?
You're recognized for discussion.
Mr. Chair, could I just ask Mr. Maynard just real quickly? So when you're talking about a pinky, you're saying that we're not going to list K through 5th on here. We're just going to do it.
We haven't done it yet.
But, it's projected to, just kind of help me understand, restate what you said, please.
Well, yeah, we understand. And when we put this together is that the default implementation date for the whole thing is 30/31. So essentially this, and by the way, that's in many documents other than just rule text.
Sure.
And so that's been part of the plan for quite some time. What this does is this sort of modifies that and gives a staged or a staggered rollout over time. And so the idea is that the K through 5 defaults to the 2030-31 implementation date. Now, do we need to put that in rule text? Because currently the rule text does read no earlier than 30/31. We do need to fix that, but it's just not part of this amendment. We'll get to that in another amendment
Today.
Thank
you, sir.
I think that's our intent.
For what purpose, Member Little? Discussion?
Yes, I'm
You're
sorry.
recognized for discussion.
When we were talking, whatever day it was this week that we were talking about that, there was a little bit of concern about the development time for publishers and how that would work. And I've heard back from them that it would be best for them to do it by grade level bands, rather, like K through 5 and 6 through 8, rather than try to split it up. But I think you've almost got that there. So I just wanted to say that was what I had found out.
Thank you, ma'am.
So make sure I understand that the feedback you got was consistent with this proposal?
With the exception of probably the 6th grade, but keep K5, 6, 8, and then the high school courses are all separate anyway, but it would be better from a publisher standpoint to keep them that way. I think it's better for a teacher and student standpoint to roll it in. Like, I think we had a K through 4 or something like that, but that's not going to work for the publishers.
May I?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that you said you heard from publishers, or the agency did. I don't know who in the agency heard from them. And you did. Did we hear the same thing? Because I don't know if we heard from the same people or different people. Okay.
I believe we did.
Great. For what purpose, Member Pickering?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I guess this goes to the maker of the motion. So we're discussing the reading list right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so this is delayed implementation of the reading list. And it's my understanding, based on the reading list that we already passed, that they all have ISBN numbers. Everything's already been published. And whenever you did, TEA did their presentation of this delayed rollout, it was because of new social study standards that the publishers needed to write new instructional materials to give them time to write it and implement it. However, our reading list is already published. Like I said, they already have ISBN numbers. There's nothing that has to be written.
It's my understanding that there is.
TEA staff, can you tell us that we just adopted books that haven't been written yet on our reading list?
You did adopt books that are already written, if I may. To transition those titles into instructional materials would require time and effort on the part of the publisher. Instructional materials being the activities, the alignment with the TEKS, like how is this going to be delivered in the classroom?
Okay, but we can go ahead and pass a mandated reading list that can be implemented, I mean, as soon as 27, 28. And because it's part of our standards, the publishers would still have to include it in this delayed rollout. I mean, it's not one or the other. We can do both. Because the reading list is already published works. They already have ISBN numbers.
You are correct. I would say what publishers and curriculum writers would need to consider is, because this list does not represent the entire school year, they're going to need to go back into their materials and make some decisions about how to integrate these titles into their overall product. What additional titles are going to be in there? How are those activities going to be selected? 100% of the TEKS have to be included, and create those products again to be 100% aligned.
Yes, which I totally agree with that. I love that our reading list is going to be included in instructional materials, and those have yet to be written. But that is separate from our mandated reading list. Our mandated reading list can go into effect, I mean, as soon as 27, 28. I mean, the school districts can go ahead and start reading that mandated list now, and then the publishers can include it in their instructional materials on this delayed list.
I agree that this would not preclude a district from beginning to utilize those lists as soon as they are adopted, but they need instructional materials to help the teacher deliver the instruction related to the title would be my comment on it.
So, Dr. Trejo, do you think I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you one more question if you don't mind.
I'm like squeezing.
No, it's okay. So if a school district, if we go ahead, we have now passed a mandated reading list. So if we were to mandate that as soon as, let's say, 27, 28, don't those books still have instructional value?
I believe the books have instructional value. What I'm asking about is the availability of instructional materials to support implementation in the classroom.
Okay, so
the book is there,
so
but the instructional material.
Right. So our directive is, we've adopted this list. We're saying this is what we want every child in Texas to read at a minimum. Okay, it's a minimum list.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we're also giving a directive, because it's in TEKS, we're giving directives to the publishers. You need to include this in your instructional materials. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive. And so we can do both, because these are great literary works this board has approved. So I'm going to stand in opposition of an 8-year delayed rollout of our mandatory reading list, because I think that children, the intent of this body, at least on behalf of my district, is that children start reading these great works of literature before 8 years from now.
Point of information.
What's your point of information?
Is this vote tied to the social studies sequence as well?
Well,
it does say so. Sorry.
It's tied to it. This vote does not bind us on the social studies vote necessarily, because it's a different set of the administrative code. However, if you believe they need to be implemented at the same time, And I think there's some arguments we've heard touched on around self-contained classrooms and things like that. If you believe that you need to do those at the same time, you would want to match those.
Would there be an option to Member Pickering's point, because I think I didn't realize that's what was happening, to separate this, or is there an opportunity in the language, the effective date, that we could separate we could keep this as an option for the instructional materials as was given in the presentation that talks about instructional material implementation. However, in the actual rule for effective date, is there an opportunity to have a different effective date for a literature list? Because I agree with Member Pickering
Point of
that
parliamentary inquiry.
we wouldn't need to wait.
Is all of this a point of information?
Chair is not advised.
Mr. Chair?
I am asking a question.
What's your point of information?
So, so I'm asking you, Chairman, is there an opportunity to separate the effective dates for literature lists and social studies TEAGs?
You can. They live in two separate sections of the administrative code. In the adoption today that we're going to do on two rules, we must set implementation dates for those. So we have to make a choice. It's up to this body what that choice will be and whether it will match.
Mr. Chair, secondary amendment?
Okay, so I've had several people get in line for wanting to discuss. We got Maynard, Francis, Little, and then Hickman Brooks. Discussion?
Yeah, just a real quick comment. And I think that Shannon made a pretty good point on this, is that any school district that wanted to start this, I mean, they could start it as soon as they wanted to. I mean, they can start it earlier. A local school district can choose to do that because they can do anything they want to right now. There's nothing precluding them from doing that. If they wanted to do that and get ahead of the curve, they could do that. Now, I will say this, is that one thing that is worth noting is that this is not just an issue of instructional material. This is a lot of issue around in-service and training and teacher preparation related to this. And particularly, you go down to K through 5. Remember that, again, and Chair Kinsey kind of referenced that, those are all self-contained classrooms. And where you have a teacher that is teaching everything with those kids all day long. And so just in terms of preparing teachers to do that and to pivot and to take on different works and integrating that into that instruction, that takes some time, and it's a fairly heavy lift. And so I think the idea of that is that we want the rollout to be successful. If we roll that out too quick and teachers are not prepared to do that, then I think it stands a chance of failure that we don't want. We want to set this rollout up for success. But I agree, the grade works, and we would encourage all the school districts to implement early to the extent that they can.
Member Francis for discussion. Are you can be recognized for discussion still? You're next on my list.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a little bit uncomfortable. I haven't made my final decision yet. And I was talking with Dr. Trejo about what the implications would be to wait, to do a delayed rollout versus, on the one hand, we would have the instructional, the titles, the literary works in the classroom as soon as 2027, 28, as my colleague, Member Pickering was mentioning. But then, and I think that teachers could implement it, could use those materials without publisher intervention. I think we don't have to wait on publishers to publish books, but then I think we might run into an issue with when they do get integrated over several years, that they may have redundant copies. So, Chairman, I'm wondering if there's a way, because I am not comfortable with waiting so long to get the literature list in 2030 for a slightly earlier implementation date for at least the K through 5 list, if there's an opportunity to take that into consideration. So a modified option A.
Chair, sorry.
Shannon?
Just to answer Member Francis's points that were brought out, this is similar to anytime you adopt TEKS. If you adopted new TEKS, for example, in a different subject area like mathematics, the TEKS are needing to translate into instructional materials. Could a teacher wouldn't just get the TEKS? There needed to be, as Member Maynard explained, work that went into creating the lesson that would be utilized to teach that TEK in the classroom. That is typically done through curriculum writers. In some districts it's the teacher, some districts they purchase published materials, but curriculum writers take your TEKS, they create instructional materials, and then after the instructional materials are available, they are implemented. In this case, Member Francis pointed out there could be the possibility of duplicative costs if they purchase the books themselves individually, and then later they decide to purchase published materials. There would be some duplicative costs involved with that, where two sets. So funding might come into play with that.
May I respond? Thank you. So, two things. I'll ask a question and then I'll ask another question. The first one is, if we were to have an earlier implementation date, because right now we would have 5 grades being implemented in 1 year. So if, let's say we have the literature list for K through 5 being effective 27, 28, would they be IMAT funds, instructional materials and technology funds, available for that if this body approved it? Would that be a yes? So they could start buying the titles?
I think when we were looking through the funding available, that was one of the things that we were looking at, is the biennium of the funds that would be available. So the next biennium would be
the 27, right?
The 90th, right? In which most of those funds have been already dedicated, correct? Because we're in it right now. We're in the 90th right now. So school districts have already planned out the allocation of the IMTA fund, or that's what I did in my district. Those funds have already been dedicated typically and earmarked.
But technically, though, if I'm just asking, if a district wanted to buy some titles, if we made it effective 27, 28, or 28, 29,
they could
use IMAT funds.
Source that they could use. That is correct.
Okay, and then your point about TEKS, I understand that you have the TEKS and then the TEKS go into lesson plan. However, this is different because the regular TEKS, you can't read them. These are figures within the TEKS. So these are actually books that you can read. So I still maintain that you don't need someone telling teachers how to read a book and to analyze a book. So I think we're at an impasse there, for me at least. And I still wondered if there is a way that we could, if staff had thought of a modified rollout, at least for K through 5.
I think for us, what we were considering is this staggered implementation, again, does not preclude districts from going ahead and utilizing these titles in the classroom and reading them in the classroom. Our intent was to allow time for instructional materials to be produced to support teachers in the delivery of instruction in the classroom. So they can still be read in the classroom. as soon as possible. But the lessons and the instructional materials that help teachers deliver that instruction, we were hoping the staggered implementation would support that rollout in a way that had the best student experience and the best teacher training experience as possible. Some of these literary works are going to be different for teachers, and they will need some training and some materials to help them with implementation potentially.
Is there a, does the agency plan to do, and I'm not sure when the board would enter into some conversations, but is there an opportunity for some pilot campuses to do this earlier? Is that what normally happens?
Pilot campuses on TEKS?
For example?
You pilot?
No?
Not typically, no.
Point of order?
Okay.
Point of order.
What's the point of order?
The member has exceeded his time.
Upheld. Let's see. Member Hickman for discussion.
Thank you, Chairman. My concern with option A on the screen is that grade 4, 2930, when that kid gets to 5th grade, they're going to jump into the new social studies TEKS and lit list. Same thing, if there's a 6th grader in 3031, there'll be a 7th grader in 3132. Then when they get to 8th grade, 3233, they jump into the new approach. So I think there's natural bands we've developed, particularly for social studies, which I think it makes sense to do these at the same time. We have a K through 2, we have a 3 through 8, then we have a high school. I don't know if Kay, if you can show a staggered rollout, which for me focuses more on the parent-student side of this equation, which is that each cohort would come into the process not midstream, but kind of at the start of a stage. And I'll just wait 1 second if you can get that up. So in the 30-31 school year, you would start with kinder, 3rd, 6th, and 9-10 for the lit list. And then those kids, as they move to 31-32, then that cohort, you would then roll out 1st, 4th, 7th, 11th. And then that same cohort, when you get to 32-33, you would roll out 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 12th. So that you essentially draw a line in the sand, and those students are jumping in at the beginning of the process and not jumping in the middle, particularly in social studies where it doesn't make sense. For example, I think our current 7th grade is Texas, and then a student, if we roll out the next year, would go to 8th grade Texas capstone, and it just doesn't fit how we've designed the new system and the new TEKS. So for that reason, I don't know if I can make a secondary amendment to do this, or we just discuss this, but that's the sort of approach I would suggest for implementation.
We may be able to in a minute. I'm going to go to Vice Chair Little for discussion. She gave her place in line to you.
Mr. Hickman, I would totally agree with this for the standpoint of ease of the teachers and the students, and originally did support this. However, in speaking with some of the publishers, this would be very difficult for them to create materials like this. So the publishers have asked that we not take this approach and that we do grade bands like K through 5, 6 through 8, and then of course the high school courses are all individual. But I just wanted to share that with you.
Member Brooks for discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, maybe you could tell me how I could get to a secondary amendment.
There's a lot of people trying to get to secondary amendments right now. Would you like to be recognized for discussion?
Yes, sir.
You're recognized for discussion.
I would like to agree with Member Little and take that into consideration, the huge responsibility to not only publish, but as teachers, that whole elementary school, it makes teacher training a lot easier when you have the whole grade levels grouped together like that. So for training purposes, it's a lot easier and cost effective as well with Member Little's approach.
think, Member Little, your approach is substantially similar to the motion on the floor right now.
Yes.
Difference being sixth grade, right? For discussion, Member Voss? Anyone else for discussion? Member Hickman for discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. My other concern with option A, we don't show it anymore, but I think high school doesn't get rolled out until 2035, and that would include our new PFL course, which we're eventually going to get to today. So the high school, I think we want our new PFL, particularly with HB 27, to come in much earlier than 10 years from now.
If I may,
Dr. Tran.
high school would come in at 33, Member Hickman.
They're trying to get it up right now.
Mr. Chairman?
Discussion?
Yes.
Recognized for discussion.
Yeah, and just, if I may just respond, I mean, and I know that the social studies, we've got social studies rollout, but personal financial literacy, even though it's under the social studies umbrella, I think that we would need to roll that out like 2031. I mean, because actually the cohort starts 26, 27. And so I think that we can probably carve that one out. Well, this is the literary list.
Member Hickman for discussion.
Yeah, I think what we should do is the same thing for the literary list and for social studies so that they're matched up, and we've talked about marrying those two together. So again, just another concern of mine, if we're going down the option A path, is social studies is not until 23, 24 for high school.
For discussion, Member Pickering?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Recognized for discussion. Member
Thank
Pickering.
you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Member Hickman that yes, I want these literary works to be in our instructional materials, and the publishers do need time to develop that. However, I still believe that we can have both. We can have a mandatory reading list that will not be a significant cost, and maybe TEA at some point can give us an analysis on that, because a lot of the works in our literary list are already in our our school library catalogs. And so we can have it both ways. We can put high quality reading list in our schools sooner than what this is. And we can have it mandated for our publishers in the instructional materials and give them time to include that in the new instructional materials. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else for discussion? Okay. Do you want to move forward right now? Do you want to take a 15-minute break and think about it? You want to take a break? Okay. It's 1:31. Can we come back at, let's do 19 minutes. 1:50?
Mr. Chairman?
Standard, Member Maynard, for what purpose?
Would it be possible to play some music, and so we're on a break, and so we could break dance?
The chair is not advised. See you at 1:50. Stand at ease. Members, we're back. When we left, we were in the middle of a discussion about Member Maynard's amendment. Back to Member Maynard's amendments on the floor. We're in the middle of discussion. Is there any other discussion? Okay, we have for what purpose you want to be recognized?
Secondary amendment.
Okay, you're recognized for a secondary amendment, Member Hickman.
Kay, I don't know if you can show the picture I just sent you, but I can also explain it very quickly and easily, I think. Would be to implement high school in the 30-31 school year, implement middle school in the 31-32 school year, and implement elementary school in the 32-33 school year.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? You want to speak to it?
I would. Thank you, Chair. I agree with several board members on trying to get the book list in as quickly as possible. And also, I think this makes sense to do the social studies in the same way so that they're both being implemented at the same time. For me, the most important content is in the high school, both in the book list and in social studies, particularly PFL, which I think we may get to this evening. So I would like to do the hold on just a second. Yeah, just, sorry, Chair, just 1 second, if we can get the picture. Yeah, there's a new picture. Just 1 second, sorry. Sorry, Chair. Yeah, I think the most important content, which I would prioritize as early as possible, is high school. Then the next most important content is middle school, book list, and social studies. And then elementary, I would do last because it's the most years of content, K through 5, and that could be done at a later time. So I've been told we can't do K through 12 all in 1 year. It's too much of a rollout. And I think my cohort idea is problematic because you'd have professional development every year on the high school campus for 3 years, on the middle school campus for 3 years, and on the elementary campus. So my secondary amendment would be to roll out in line of the graphic that Kay is showing there, and I could work with her to update the years in the rule text.
Is there a debate on the pending motion? Recognized for debate, Member Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to ask really quick, Member Little, to give you, you've talked to publishers, so what is your take on the order difference of high school first?
Member Little for discussion.
That's not going to matter, Member Brooks. Essentially, all we're doing is just flipping the high school to do it first instead of the K through 5. So from a publisher's standpoint, that's going to matter, or not matter. And actually, that will give them more development time because the K through 5 and then actually the 6-8, that will require more development than the high school courses because the high school courses are still fairly similar to what we have been using. So honestly, this would give more development time to the publishers.
Member Francis for discussion.
Question to staff. Ms. Trejo, would it work better? Because I see what we're going. First, we had elementary, middle, and high school. And And like in a perfect world, if the circle were to come back, you'd start at elementary. So wouldn't it work better if you had high school, elementary, and then middle school, so that because with this, when the elementary class, we would miss several elementary class basically of the new TEKS. So I think high school, elementary, middle would work better because you get the high schoolers before they leave, you start the elementary on this new path, and you capture some middle schoolers at the end that would have started the elementary curriculum already. And I don't know if that makes a difference, but I think it makes a difference. But I want your assessment on if you agree or disagree.
So a couple of things to think about. If Member Hickman is suggesting this be literature lists and social studies, when you put them out of order, you put them out of order. And with your social studies TEKS being chronological, that could cause potentially some missed opportunities for vertical alignment in the chronology to make sense moving in order from beginning to end. The other thing I would think about is these concepts of being familiar with a text versus being prepared to teach a text. Elementary texts that you have selected, you do have some familiarity with nursery rhymes or fairy tales, but some of those groups may not be as prepared to actually teach those in the classroom. It appears that it would make sense to have more time for teachers to get familiar with 6th grade through 12th grade, because many of those texts may be newer texts. So the level of familiarity and preparedness goes down with those titles typically.
So are you saying that this is problematic as is, and then my switching middle and high school is on the same order as problematic as this is?
Yes, sir.
And you're still in preference of the one before? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Maynard, for discussion.
Yeah, just a few things, Mr. Chairman. A couple things is that I will say that, you know, in all of this work, we had such a focus on the K through 8 continuum and all those pieces, because the change was so drastic. And a lot of the high school classes kind of put on the back burner, and as a result of that, we've opted to delay those. I will say this is that we delayed those, predicated on the notion that it's okay because that we're going to implement them later and not first. I will tell you that if we don't adopt those till September, I will tell you that our ability to actually do the material is pretty limited at this point. And so I think that's number one. And number two, and I understand the issue with personal financial literacy, and maybe if I can ask staff is that I think we would have the ability to stay with the staggered implementation with high school at the end, but we could do a carve out specifically for personal financial literacy. So just because we do high school last doesn't mean that personal financial literacy would not be in that. We can carve that out simply because we have a legislative mandate on that. And so we can carve out personal financial literacy and have that ready to go 30/31, if not earlier.
I would agree with that, Member Maynard, and also the idea that the personal financial literacy also already has a potential materials list that we could review and update that would support instruction.
Yeah.
Member Pickram for discussion.
I just took a bite of my Lunchable. I'm sorry. My question is, if we do not adopt a timeline, what's the effective date?
We must adopt a timeline.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
We must adopt a timeline by midnight.
For the reading materials, for the reading list?
By midnight tonight.
Oh, okay, thank you.
For what purpose, Member Hickman?
Discussion?
Recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Member Maynard, we are making a pinky promise here to do this for social studies as well as the reading list, but what's pending on the floor is the reading list. And we have, I guess, at the end of this item, we'll set what the high school, middle, and elementary reading lists are. This is the order of criticality for me of getting the high school reading list in the classroom first and the elementary in the classroom last. So that if we can't roll it out all in K through 12, I would prioritize high school, then middle school, then elementary. As for the postponing the high school courses, I don't remember a discussion about we are postponing the high school courses because they're going to be implemented later. I think we're postponing the high school courses because we ran out of committee time, and we'll come back to those in whenever the chair says we will, I'm assuming the September meeting. I don't think adopting the high school courses in September versus June has a critical impact since it's 2026 on publishers being able to get us curriculum in the classroom by 30/31.
Chair,
For what purpose, Dr.
call the question.
Recognized to do so. Motion to call the question. We have a second. Okay, all those in favor of calling the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Question's been called. The question on the table is Member Hickman's secondary amendment as depicted on the screen, but is actually the rule text that would describe this, correct? Okay. Any question on what we're voting on? Okay. All those in favor of Member Hickman's secondary amendment, please show by raising your hand. 4, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 8, thank you. 4, 8, the motion fails. We're back to the amendment offered by Member Maynard.
Mr. Chairman,
For what purpose?
move the previous question on the main motion.
You're recognized to do so. The question's been called. We have a second. Okay. We have a motion and a second to call the question. All those in favor of calling the question? Let me describe it. It's option A. All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The question's been called. Okay, it's option A as depicted is conforming through the, well, it's not conforming. Kay, can you zoom out just a little bit? Okay, you're scrolling. It's not showing on the screen. So this is a literary works list for all grades. Clear on what we're voting on? Okay. All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. Eight, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 3, 8, 3, the motion carries. Are there any other amendments to the literary works list rule text? Ready to vote on the main motion as amended? So it's the list and the rule text that goes with it. Okay. All those in favor? Actually, let me remind you of the motion. This is the one where it's second reading. We need 2/3 vote, or we got to come back and make a statement after that, but see where we get. Just a reminder.
Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to request a roll call vote.
Okay, a roll call vote has been requested. Will be granted.
Point of
Staff, please
information.
follow the roll. What's your point of information?
Do you think it would be important to explain why we need a 2/3 vote before we vote?
The motion says, remember when we do rule text, if it has a 2/3 vote, it has an effective date of 20 days after because we're deeming it necessary. So in this case, I don't think there's going to be a lot of practical implication, but I'll have to make some statements later that tells you that it's not immediately effective or effective in 20 days.
Point of information.
Which point of information?
This is for the full list, right?
List and text. Yes, ma'am. Staff, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Member Ravelis.
No.
Member Francis.
Yes.
Member Perez Diaz.
No.
Member Childs.
No.
Member Belmetro. Absent. Member Hickman.
Yes.
Member Pickren.
Yes.
Member Young. Member Ellis.
Yes.
Member Maynard.
Yes.
Member Little.
Yes.
Member Hall.
Yes.
Member Clark.
No.
Member Brooks.
No.
Chair Kinsey.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, by a vote of 9 to 5 to 1.
951, the motion carries. So as a result, it was not 2/3. So this is where I get to make the statement. It is not going to have an effective date of 20 days after filing within the Texas Register. It will have an effective date of the next school year. Is that right? Huh?
Point of information.
What's your point of information?
Could you or legal point to how that affects anything, whether it's effective in 20 days or the next school year? Or is it just a reality?
I mean, based on the implementation, if I'm understanding your question, there's nothing that will immediately happen. Is that what you're asking? I mean, and then the rollout that you all.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what will is that just a formality because of how the law is written, or will something actually change?
Yes, there's no practical implication, but the process can begin. Is that your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item we're going to move to today is going to be item 4, Social Studies TEAC, second reading and final adoption. It's in your agenda, Exhibit I-57. Vice Chair Little to read the recommendation from the committee regarding elementary K through 5.
Mr. Chair, the Committee of the Full Board recommends to the State Board of Education that they approve for second reading and final adoption proposed new 19 TAC Chapter 113, Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for Social Studies, Subchapter A, Elementary as amended, and make an affirmative finding that immediate adoption of proposed new 19 TAC Chapter 113, Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for Social Studies, Subchapter A, Elementary is necessary and shall have an effective date of 20 days after the filing with the Texas Register.
Members, you've heard the motion which comes from the committee needs no second. Is there debate on the pending motion? Member Francis for debate.
For an amendment.
Excuse me, for an amendment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, you're recognized for an amendment.
Thank you, Chairman. Ms. K, my amendment for kindergarten was submitted. Members, it's located in, if you're looking at the new document, which you can find on the website, scroll all the way down. There are 3 different documents, K through 5. 7, free enterprise. I worked with staff to do some cleaning up and also reduce breakouts, but the essence of this chapter remains the same. It should be coming up on your screen in just a moment.
So for the moment, I'm gonna try and work with the documents that y'all sent me, and if that goes wrong, then we'll fix that.
Shannon, could you approach, please?
Okay. We have a motion for amendment. Do we have a second? Second? I'll give you a second, Member Francis. A quick
Thank you,
second.
Chairman.
Very quick.
So thank you, Chairman. Just work with staff to clean up this this language here. There was a conforming edit done before me which struck the with adult assistance. And just working with staff advised me that this would reduce breakouts for this section. And Shannon, how much do we save here?
With each one of these, you're looking at removing, on A, you're removing 1. With B, you're removing 2. With C, you're removing 2. With D, you're removing 2. So 2, 4, 6, 7 breakouts.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any debate on pending motion? Dr. Clark for debate, you recognize.
Is he bringing in everything that's in green?
So I did not realize that this was what he had. I would not know. I'm editing.
So Dr. Clark, oh, may I, Chairman? Dr. Clark, to your question.
Member Francis.
Thank you. Dr. Clark, to your question, the red text was done before we adopted, before me, so when we adopted this motion. And so the red text with the strikeout. And then I have struck in the, it's not, it's the blue text that has strikeout.
My
is me,
question was
basically.
germane to the green, to the green writing only.
Through the chair, when recognized, please.
Through the chair, yes, but that wasn't everything that I did. The green was already there? Oh. All right, so what did I do, Shannon? Just striking the blue.
Be just the blue.
Oh, okay.
Amendment on the floor is to strike through in blue. Is there any debate?
Chairman, may I be recognized?
For what purpose? Member Childs?
To ask the maker of the motion a question about B.
Through the chair, you're recognized.
Sure. And B, it reads, and correct me if I'm wrong, identify examples of services, including a worker building homes. Is that the maker's intention?
Yes, ma'am, through the chair.
Member Francis for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Vice Chair Little, for what purpose?
call the question.
You recognize to do so. Motion and second, call the question. All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the question has been called. All those in favor of the amendment depicted in blue on the screen, please show by raising your hand. Three, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 5, 3, 5, the motion fails. Do you have further amendments? For amendments, Member Francis?
Sorry, we're just K through 5 right now, right?
We are
I lost my.
K through 5, yes.
Okay. No further amendments for K through 5.
For what purpose, Dr. Young?
Chair, I have some amendments that I've submitted.
You're recognized for a moment.
I've sent them to Kay, and they may take her a little bit of time.
The only one that I have in a document called Part 1 is for grade 7. Okay, sorry. That would be.
Part 2?
Here, I do have some. Okay. Got it.
She has it.
Right.
While Ms. Kay's working on that, I would like to, without objection, suspend the rules and give our staff and TA staff and Ms. Kay a round of applause for their hard work this week in supporting us. Thank you. We've been here very late, several nights. And there's a lot of prep going into the meeting as well. We've had a few people that have had to leave throughout the week, so it's been kind of a tough slog. And everybody was working late last night to get ready for today's meeting, sorting out what happened from the committee of the full board. So, sincerest gratitude from me and the rest of the board, I'm sure as well. You ready for the amendment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Young. We have your amendment up there, I believe. Do we have a second? Would you like to speak to your amendment, Dr. Young?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I deleted a lot and simplified, streamlined, not to eliminate content, but also to allow teachers some autonomy in teaching some of these TEKs as they are drafted, but also for historical accuracy in relation to the communist revolution and in 7.9E, not 7.9E. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, in the first ones, just to make sure that that we're taking out a little bit, cut and simplify.
Second.
Okay, we have the motion and the second already. We have maker of the motion spoken to it. Is there any debate on the pending motion?
Point of information, Mr. Chairman.
What's your point of information?
Is what is on the screen the entirety of this amendment?
Yes, the maker of the motion has further amendments, to my understanding, but for the one on the floor right now, it's all depicted in blue on the screen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Okay. Seeing no debate, y'all ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. Six, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 3, 6, 3, the motion carries. Dr. Young, do you have further amendments?
I do. Thank you, Miss Kay. She's working on them.
Yeah.
Motion to a second. Would you like to speak to it?
Streamlining, reducing.
Is there any debate on the pending motion? Seeing no debate, you ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's motion, not emotion, although she emailed it. Tom, please show by raising your hand. Eight, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 2, 8-2, the motion carries. Dr. Young, you have further motions?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
A motion to a second? A motion and a second. You want to speak to it?
Same, streamlining.
Okay, is there any debate on the pending motion?
Chairman, may I be recognized?
Oh, I'm sorry. For debate, Member Childs.
May I ask the maker of the motion through you why she struck independence and not freedom?
Dr. Young.
Because the American flag is a national symbol of freedom. And by striking independence, then you're reducing a breakout from this particular teak.
Chairman, may I respond briefly?
Member Childs for debate.
I just would like to argue through the chair that the American flag is a national symbol of independence because everyone wasn't free at the time.
Ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. Eight, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 4, 8-4, the motion carries. Dr. Young, do you have further amendments?
Ms. Kay, did we make it through the list? Okay.
Point of information.
What's your point of information?
Mr. Chairman, is it too late to include independence back, freedom and independence? Yes?
It's too late.
Okay.
Unless you made a motion to reconsider, but you were not on the winning side. Therefore, that's out of order. You want to speak to, oh, do we have a second? You want to speak to it?
Again, attempting to streamline, also just for historical accuracy in this particular one. And yeah, so spent a lot of time reading through these last couple of days.
Is there any debate?
Chairman?
Member Childs for debate.
Yes, may I ask the maker of the motion through you what was inaccurate about Henry O. Flipper?
Dr. Young.
I mean, she can ask, but do I have the answer?
No.
Okay.
Chairman, may I respond?
For Childs for debate.
Yes, I only asked through you, Chairman, because she said it was for accuracy's sake that she's crossing it out. And I know the story about Henry O. Flipper, and it looks accurate to me.
Mr. Chairman,
For what purpose, Member Pickering?
I'd like to call to question.
Okay, you're recognized to call the question. We have a second. All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All those in favor of calling the question, please show by raising your hand. Seven, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 6, 7676. The motion to call the question passes. The question is shown in blue on the screen. All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. 8, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 5, 8, 5, motion carries. Do you have other amendments, Dr. Young?
Miss Kay, did we make it through? Okay, thank you. I mean, I have to, yeah. I have, I can go back to mine. I just wasn't keeping track of them.
And for what purpose, Member Childs?
I'd like to be recognized to make an amendment when the time comes, just one.
Okay. I'll put you in line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? You'd like to speak to it?
Again, I'm requesting deletion of this. It's fairly generic, and the TEKS are for essential skills, and our other TEKS are written very much more specific. So this is for reduction purposes. Streamline. This is 2.13A.
Second grade. Is there debate on the pending motion? Ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's motion, please show by raising your hand. Ten, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 4, 10, 4, motion carries. Do you have more motions, Dr. Young?
Yes, sir. 2.13B. In this particular, may I speak to it?
Do you have a second?
No. Second.
I've been corrected by the parliamentarian. A reminder, she's taken students for the seconds don't matter class. Okay. We have a second. You want to speak to it, Dr. Young?
This one maintains the integrity of the TEK, but reduces the number of breakouts within it. And again, with streamlining, opens the opportunity for teachers to be able to teach it on their own.
Is there debate on the pending motion? Okay, ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's motion, please show by raising your hand. Nine, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 3, 9, 3, the motion carries. Do you have further motions?
Yes, sir. 2.13F. Request is to just remove this TEK completely for the sake of time and for streamlining.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
A second.
You want to speak to it?
Time.
Is there any debate on the pending motion? Member Maynard for debate.
Yeah, I just, I get the time, but on this one, this one is of particular interest because actually, if you go to the Capitol, there's a lot of architecture and such that's actually drawn from Rome, and that's one of the most stunning things about the Roman civilization was a lot of the architecture. And if you've been over there and seen it, and I think that's important enough to believe in.
Further debate?
Mr. Chairman,
For what purpose?
discussion.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This was a significant change in human history to have aqueducts. So I'm not sure where I stand on this reduction. Maybe we're taking a scalpel a little bit too far. The maker of the motion, Member Young, what's the rationale behind removing teaching the Romans?
Through the chair, Dr. Young.
Oh, yes. Created aqueducts.
We have the opportunity within other TEKs to teach the very similar agricultural technology. And so it was due for time purposes at this particular grade level. We don't skip it later on, but this is a good place to trim it out because they do appear later.
Chairman.
Dr. Young, are the Roman civilizations also mentioned in this grade elsewhere?
Yes, sir. All of it is mentioned later. This is just an opportunity in second grade to remove it for time purposes.
Mr. Chairman.
For what purpose, Member Francis?
Discussion.
Recognized.
Thank you. This one is hard for me because I'm a professional engineer, civil engineer, specialized in water resources for probably like 10 years of my career. And this is actually one of the things that interests me about going in water resources. So I get time, but there's some things that are just so central. It begs for repetition, and I think this doesn't add that much time.
What purpose, Member Presidios?
I'd like to call the question.
You're not recognized to call the question at this point. We'll get there in a second. I see staff talking. They're working on something. Is it related to this? Okay. So I want to give them the opportunity to do that. For debate, Member Hall.
I appreciate what my colleague, Dr. Young, is doing with all the streamlining. I can't get there on this one. I think this Rome was pretty impactful, and I'm a big Romanophile, so I'm going to have to keep this one.
Just a few. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Shannon, do you need more time? Okay. Is there something we need to know as a collective body?
Aqueducts, this is the only TEK that lists specifically aqueducts.
Just the actual word.
The word, yes, ma'am.
But we do cover Greek and Roman.
We do cover Greek and Roman and other grade levels. Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Perez Diaz, you're recognized to call the question.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to call the question.
A motion and a second to call the question.
Yeah, I can
All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Ayes have it, the question's been called. The question is Dr. Young's amendment depicted on the screen in blue. All those in favor, please show by raising your hand.
I mean, I'm going to pull a member, Ravella.
Okay, four. Thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand.
And vote against my own amendment. Thank you for setting that earlier this year.
I'd like to point out that I just forgot to vote. I did not vote.
949, the motion fails. Dr. Young, do you have further amendments?
Yes, sir, I do. This is a combination to 2.13. G. And the idea is to combine and then be able to reduce the breakouts. One of the elements that we heard in public comment was that students needed to be able to locate things on map, which they're working on in this. But the proposal is to identify the continent of Africa on a map and identify contributions from ancient African kingdoms, including art, trade, and irrigation.
Second.
A motion, a second. Is there a debate, or would you like to speak to your motion?
I kind of rambled on about it, but the point is to reduce breakouts, but keep a lot, a good portion of the skill set that we're working on for students.
Okay. Is there debate on the pending motion? Member Childs for debate.
Yes, through you, Chair. Could I ask staff if the students in elementary school learn about Mali or Kush in any other place?
They're looking for it.
I'm going to have to stand. Sorry.
Mali and Kush are covered in third grade. I'm sorry, Mali and Egypt. I looked for Mali, she looked for Egypt. Mali and Egypt are covered in third grade.
But not Kush? Like not the ancient section of Kush? And may I ask, are they just learning about them on a map? Do they get another opportunity to learn about contributions that came from those places if this is stricken?
The parliamentarian has told me to make sure I mention to everyone that the contributions have moved from H to G.
Yeah, that's correct.
Shannon?
There are 4 SEs on Egypt, 2 of them are on Mali, and they do include contributions.
But nothing on Kush?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Further debate? You ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. Seven, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 5, 7, 5, the motion carries. Dr. Young, do you have more motions?
Yes, sir. 3.2 J, which if passed would become F. F.
Point of order.
What's your point of order?
I believe Member Young's out of time.
Upheld.
Chair.
For what purpose, Member Hall?
I'd like to make a motion to give Member Young 3 more minutes of time.
A motion, do we have a second? All those in favor of giving Dr. Young 3 more minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All those
Objection.
opposed, no. Okay. All those in favor of giving Dr. Young 3 more minutes of time, please show by raising your hand. 8, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 2, 8, 2, motion carries.
Just want you to know I've never asked for time. First time ever?
Dr. Young,
Yes, sir.
we're looking for
It would be identify Mayan civilization contributions, including architecture, writing, astronomy, and counting. And it takes out all the middle stuff.
Member Young, may I suggest, if you're amenable, to add an "and" before counting, so that you've got your grammatical list there. So including writing, astronomy, and counting. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any objection to the restatement? Hearing none, it's restated. Dr. Young, speak to it.
It just reduces all the extra language, and it gives the teachers the opportunity to, use their own knowledge and skills to teach this, and it streamlines the TEAC.
To the chair.
For discussion, Member Vels.
Yes, I just want to point out that Roman architecture, yes, let's keep it. Mayan architecture, no, let's not keep it. Right? Is that what we're saying in this? Through this?
What we're doing? I didn't.
Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, architecture stays.
Okay. I apologize.
No,
I did not say. Thank you.
So for the record, we're not taking Mayan architecture out.
That's correct. No.
Okay. Is there any more debate? You ready to vote? All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. 8, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 4, 8, 4, motion carries. Further amendments, Dr. Young?
Yes, sir. 3.3A, strike and label. It reduces the breakouts of this TEAC by 1, 2, 3, 4,
Second.
6, 7, 8.
Any debate on the pending motion? Member Brooks for debate.
Thank you. At this age, they're old enough to label it. So it's a higher level thinking skill, and I am against this.
Chairman.
Dr. Young for debate, through the chair.
Yes, sir. This doesn't preclude the teacher from having the students label it. It just reduces the amount of time that we consider essential for this skill.
Okay, you ready to vote?
I'm gonna need.
All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. 7, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 4, 7, 4, motion carries.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion
What's your motion?
to ask for 10 more minutes of time.
Second.
A motion is second for 10 more minutes time. All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. 6, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 5, 6, 5, motion carries.
Whew. Two 2.3B. I mean 3.3B, sorry. identify. It was supposed to strike, locate on a map. Just identify. And the purpose of it.
Have a motion, do we have a second? A second for Dr. Ellis. Speak to it.
Thank you. Yep, language.
Okay.
My language, yeah.
Ready to vote? All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. One, two, three. 8, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 4, 8, 4, the motion carries. And I just want to state that I voted to give Dr. Young 10 extra minutes, which is not normally my move. However, the cumulative time over the course of this week, Dr. Young's probably has the least time of any member. Further amendments, Dr. Young.
Yes, sir. 3.4B. Be striking some of the specificity out of this teak. For it to read, explain how early civilizations farmed in fertile river valleys, hunted on the plains, used coastal resources for food, and gathered plants.
Second.
Like to speak to it?
It does reduce the number of breakouts by 2, 3, 6, at least 7.
Is there a debate on the pending motion? Ready to vote? All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. $11, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 0, 11, 0, motion carries. Do you have further amendments, Dr. Young?
Yes, sir. 3.4D. I'm just asking to strike this.
Okay, a motion and a second. You want to speak to it?
I would say that this is redundant and also is streamlining.
Is there a debate on the pending motion?
Yes, Chairman.
Member Childs for debate.
I don't know if the maker of the motion or staff would want to weigh in on this. I thought the purpose of introducing it here was because it was a milder way of explaining it. So how is it redundant?
First grade.
Dr. Young, discussion?
I believe we approved earlier this week, sometime, maybe in the middle of the night, that the introduction of slavery begins in first grade.
We do, and there was an amendment filed, just so everybody knows, to move that to second grade, but that's coming out.
That'll help.
Yes, sir. This, I believe it is redundant, and we do have it in an earlier grade, and we continue it through later grades as well.
May I respond briefly, Chairman?
Member Childs, discussion.
I'm not trying to be combative, but I don't think Texas's role in this is depicted anywhere else.
Mr. Chairman,
What purpose?
call the question.
You're recognized to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Call the question. We have a second. Motion second, call the question. All those in favor of calling the question, please show by raising your hand. Seven, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 7-4. Question's been called. Question is shown in the strike through behind E on the screen. All those in favor of Dr. Young's amendment, please show by raising your hand. 7, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 5, keep them up for a second. 7, 6, the motion carries. Dr. Young, do you have further amendments?
Yes, sir. 6.1B. Are we there yet? Oh,
Yeah, K through 5.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, because if you remember the other night, we separated K through 5 out and sent that separate. So the main motion right now is actually only K through 5. Member Hickman, for what purpose?
Did I have my hand up? I'd like to make amendments, please.
Recognized.
Chairman, just to let you know, I'm carrying your water here. So if anyone's checking, these were filed by the chairman, and I will be offering them on his behalf. First one is in grade 1, 16A. Let me just, yeah, mine too. Oh, I have an 11, 16.
I've got, you sent it to me in Word already. Thank you.
Read it. Chair, should I read? So in A, this is 16A, a streamlining, combining A and C together. So it would read, describe Claudette Colvin, Rosa Parks, and Ruby Bridges as brave women who stood against unfair treatment. And then it would strike C. And I don't know if A has that on the screen.
Second.
Okay.
Motion a second. You want to speak to it? Member Hickman.
Sure, Chair. This is just combining the two concepts and putting Ruby Bridges together for streamlining purposes in first grade.
Okay. Member Little for discussion.
For staff, does this lose specificity? I mean, against unfair treatment. I mean, that.
There.
Can I answer? The other night, we took out the definition of segregation in this grade. And so when we took that out, we no longer define what that means, an age-appropriate level for this grade. And so that's why I filed it to take segregation out and present it in a different way. Member Childs, discussion.
Yes, I'm having a hard time with you guys crossing out C specifically because Ruby Bridges was in the first grade when this happened. So to say that it's not age appropriate for first graders to learn about this, when she did that, she was the same age as them, it's just quite awful. So I stand in opposition.
Member Childs said Ruby Bridges has been moved from C to A. So Ruby Bridges is still covered and characterized in this statement as a brave woman.
May I respond, Chairman?
Member Childs.
What I'm specifically talking about is Vice Chairwoman's little comment about the specificity of why she was brave and what she had to endure. I think that part is important for first graders to know.
Further discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Member Maynard, discussion?
And maybe that if I can get Ms. Little to kind of opine on this, is that just in terms of the development of instructional material and what that looks like, is that the writers of that, when you say unfair treatment and they attach that to a name, the curriculum writers and the material writer are going to go and they're going to unearth that and they're going to flesh that out based on the historical account. Am I correct in that? So just in terms of what actually happened there is not actually going to be lost by this amendment. Is just in terms of how that's going to be actually expressed in the manifestation of these standards.
May I?
Member Little, discussion.
I was really thinking, Mr. Maynard, more about the test, the STAR test. How's that going to be worded if they were to choose a question from this TEK to test on the STAR test?
Dr. Clark, discussion.
Yeah, I'm just going to say what I've said previously in regards to some of these amendments that have been made in regards to Black and Brown individual contributions. It seems like everything that's related to Black Americans, Mexican Americans, Muslim Americans, anybody who has contributed to history is being whitewashed to make things comfortable instead of what's right. Ruby Bridges' story is instrumental to how we are able to sit together right now in this moment on this day is to talk about education. So I think when we strip what her contribution and what she actually did and how she had to endure lots of BS, I think we need to be able to specifically talk about that.
Mr. Chairman,
For what purpose?
decorum, we have children watching.
You never have decorum.
You're out of order. Is there other discussion?
To the chair.
Member Voss, discussion.
I want to echo Dr. Clark's sentiments. I think there's a specific way we treat TEKs that are related to a specific type of text and experience, and the way we treat it to TEKs related to experiences that are perhaps in the minority. I think that's telling of this whole process that we've encountered for the last year with social studies. I think this is exactly what we were concerned about, and it's showing of the type of commitment we're making to every single child in our state, that we're not willing to give all voices a place in our classrooms. And I just cannot support this, and this is why I keep voting no, despite criticisms, because this is not right for all Texas kids. And we were not elected just to represent the supermajority. We were we were elected to represent every child in Texas.
Chair. Can I be recognized to call the question?
Just one moment. I do want to respond to something, because I went through and tracked some of this. At least I did this before the meeting. And before the meeting, slavery was mentioned over 60 times, civil rights 73, Native Americans 70. So I think the characterization that those topics have been stripped out is not correct. I don't have the numbers from today. I did not have time at midnight last night to count it from earlier in the week, but I disagree with the assertion that Dr. Clark is making. Is there any other discussion? Mayor Perez-Diaz for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not going to sit and claim that I know how many TEKs have been removed that recognize Black and Brown contributions, Asian contributions. But what I will ask of us moving forward is, as we make decisions about what is pulled and what is implemented in our standards, that we really think about the student population across Texas and what it means to ensure that we're teaching proper history and the proper story of Texas. You know, I know everybody around this room is a proud Texan, myself included. And to be a Texan means to be all of these individuals and all of the contributions that have made this state what it is. And so while I will say that there's notation across our standards of slavery and the civil rights movement, I think the depth at which we go into these particular items is lacking versus some of the other topics that we delve pretty deeply into. And so, again, I'll stand against this amendment because for all of the reasons that my colleagues have mentioned, particularly Member Childs, this is an incredibly critical piece of history that matters at the first grade level.
Is there further discussion? Are you ready to vote? All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. 6, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 7, 6, 7, the motion fails. You have further amendments, Member Hickman?
I do. Thank you, Chair. 11A and B in first grade to delete. And you'll see I move the concept into grade 2. But I think for K's purposes, the deletion will come first and the reinsertion in second grade will come next. If she can do that.
Would you like to restate?
Sure, Chair. It's to first grade, delete 11A and B. And then in second grade, it's to amend 11D and insert a new 11E.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? You want to speak to it?
Sure. I think this came up in committee. The concept of this was that we could take these topics from first grade and move it to second grade. So that's just a lift and shift.
Point of order.
What's your point of order?
Can we see the proposed?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I know I've got my screen frozen, but that's so that y'all don't get seasick watching me scroll. Okay.
Yeah, apologies. I'm speaking about something in the abstract, which you can't see.
So I filed the amendment. I'll tell you why I filed it. The other night when we were having this discussion, there was a discussion between Member Pickering and Dr. Ellis about slavery in first grade and whether that was the age appropriate time. Member Pickering indicated that she was going to, she would like to move that to second. Dr. Ellis said he would entertain that move to second. That motion never got made. We never got back to it. I found that in my notes. So I decided to file it so that we could get back to that topic from the other night and resolve it.
You don't. Oh, okay.
Okay, I think the amendment's shown now on the screen now. We're ready to proceed with debate. Is there a debate? You ready to vote? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please show by raising your hand. Eight, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 0, 1, 8, 1, motion carries. Member Hickman, amendment?
Thank you, Chair. Grade 2, 11D and a new E. Just need to find my notes, just one second.
Which grade was that?
Grade 2. Oh, that's what we just did.
Yes.
Yes, sorry. Long week. 4th grade, an amendment in 2C on Mansa Musa. Can I read, Chair?
I'm just looking for a keyword to grab.
Fourth grade.
Right. That'd be ruler. Yeah. Wealthiest ruler. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hickman, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yeah, there's some streamlining here, introducing sub-Saharan trade from B into C, and clarifying more who Mansa Musa was, one of the wealthiest rulers, and describing where his wealth came from.
Member Brooks, discussion.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask Mr. Hickman, where did it say he gained his wealth from slavery? He was very wealthy without slaves. So I've been searching for this fact and I just can't find it. So that's my only issue is he didn't gain his wealth from slavery. He gave gold like it was a piece of candy to people. So he was wealthy with resources, gold, really.
Would you like to bring in Dr. Frazier?
I would love that.
Dr. Frazier? I think we've had this discussion at a prior meeting.
The way I understand it, of course, this is not my particular field of study, but the way I understand it from the conversations I had with the other content advisors is that there was human trafficking going on in that empire, and it was the wealth generated from that and the other trade, as you suggest, that got people interested in, well, what do they got to trade out of there? And so some of the African slave trade starts as a result of this trafficking of human beings.
But in this particular teak, we are talking about one man who, I mean, some experts say is still the wealthiest man who ever lived. So his wealth came from gold, not from slavery, although yes, slavery was in this region for sure. But I think just as it is written together under Mansa Musa saying that that's how he gained his wealth, that's misleading. So maybe two separate teaks are needed there, but I really struggled trying to find a way to support that he gained his wealth in any way from slavery. He had a lot of gold. I mean, he traveled with it. He flaunted it, and really, I think that's what made explorers really explore Africa.
Member Hall, for what purpose?
To call the question.
Would you like to respond, Member Hickman? Discussion.
Yeah, just debate. I agree with you, Member Brooks. He had wealth that came from gold, but my research showed he was active in the Saharan trade routes with gold, salt, and slaves. So I think this one says he gained his wealth from trade, and the trade was gold, salt, and slaves. So it's not saying he didn't gain wealth from gold. I think that's a given, and gold is listed first, but he was trading all three.
Mr. Chair.
For what purpose, Member Pickering?
Just for the maker of the
Discussion.
comment. Yes, sir.
Okay, recognize.
Member Hickman, I also did a little bit of research on this, and it was slave labor who went and mined his gold. So he doesn't get to the gold without his slave empire.
I'm sorry, I missed the question, Member Pickering.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I was just, Member Hickman said that he did a little bit of research. I also did a little bit of research on this, and he used slavery to actually mine the gold. So he didn't get to this great wealth from gold without a slave empire.
Member Childs, discussion?
Yes, I wanted to ask the maker of the motion, would he be interested in restating his amendment to add Ghana back? By my research, the Ghana Empire did exist during the Middle Ages, or maybe explain why he crossed it out.
Mr. Chairman,
For what purpose?
may I call the question?
Just a second. We'll answer, see if we can answer her question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't believe that Ghana is connected to the rest of the content of this section.
May I respond?
Member Childs, discussion?
Yes, I think the title is The Middle Ages in Africa. So I thought, well, when we wrote this teak originally, it was having the students locate on the map two different places, a place in West Africa where a lot of Americans originate from, and then the Mali Empire. So if I was wrong on the purpose of the standard,
I see your point. Member Hickman, would you like to restate to include Ghana?
Yes, Chair, if I could restate to reinsert Ghana in A.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, it's restated. Member Hall, you recognized. Call the question. A motion, a second, call the question. All those in favor of calling the question, please show by raising your hand.
Oh.
11, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 011, 0, question been called. All those in favor of the amendment, please show by raising your hand.
Madam Chair. I have a point of information. Okay. It's unstruck. Show Francis as yes as well.
Okay, hands up, please. Eleven, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 2, 11, 2, the motion carries. Member Hickman.
Yes, sir. Fifth grade, B6, social studies skills. To strike skills should include and replace it with students are expected to. And I would like to make this a conforming edit for K through 12.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. You want to speak to it? Member Hickman.
Sure, let's get it up on the screen. B6. Yep. Students are expected to instead of skills should include. Is it, that's already been?
We did that for the other.
Okay.
This is what it currently says. That's what it says right now. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? You want to speak to your motion?
Sure. This came up in math teaks a number of years ago of having process standards and having to do things 10 ways. So the idea here is to clarify that the social studies skills are relevant to learning the historical, geographic, economic, and civic knowledge, but you don't have to use every single skill for every single teak strand.
Member Brooks. For
Mr. Chair,
discussion.
I'd like to make a secondary amendment.
You're recognized for discussion right now.
Well, I wonder if the maker of this amendment would be willing to either put students are expected to, or were appropriate. I mean, I get the skills part, but where do we put knowledge or content here too? So maybe I'm off base on that, but students are expected to not just learn skills, but content too. So I like the students are expected to part. Would you be willing to replace skills should include with students are expected to?
Discussion.
Sure. I think we have that. So this is B6 with social studies skills, and this talks about the acquisition of. That's all the teaks we've been talking about all week, which I think are in C or D. So that's the content, is each of these explain, describe, people, place, event ideas. This is saying, how do you marry together the social studies skills with all the content? And the idea here is that every social studies skill is not appropriate for every single piece of knowledge. So it's where appropriate, you incorporate the skill into learning that knowledge, but you don't have to use every single skill for because that's the multiplication problem and it just gets unwieldy. That's the intent here.
Yeah, that's correct. I filed the amendment. We've heard a lot of times at this board over my time here about the process standards in math and how they create some multiplicative effects. And so I'm trying to keep that from happening here, is my understanding. Shannon, is my understanding correct? Am I inventing a problem that doesn't exist?
No, sir. You're correct.
Dr. Ellis.
I want to point out probably a technical edit that will need to take place right now. It's students are expected to distinguish, explain, and it'll now read where appropriate skills should include. You wouldn't say distinguish and explain, distinguishing, explaining, in that one all.
We can take care of that as a technical edit, just changing the verb at the A to indicate proper grammar.
Where is it? Oh,
So-
all throughout.
All throughout, conforming, grammatical cleanup.
Should we just put that in the motion? Conforming verb tense? Yeah. Is there discussion on this? Member Brooks, do you have a secondary amendment you'd like to offer? Okay. Ready to vote? All those in favor, please show by raising your hand. $11, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 0, 11, 0, motion carries. Do you have further amendments? Sixth grade. Amendments, Member Brooks, you're recognized for amendments.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I would like, Ms. Kay, I just sent you an email in there on third grade. It's the second, I found a place. And I just put some writing over there. It's the part that says J new J, right? Oh, I could say that, yes.
Okay.
Can I? Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to suspend Rule 5.7 and consider the following amendment to Section 113-2, not, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. To third grade, elementary, grade 3. It's existing already and it's right underneath. Yes. Or, yeah, check. Lowercase e.
Okay. Member Brooks has made a motion to suspend the rules and make this amendment. And in order to do so, it takes a 2/3 vote per our operating rules. That's of
Third grade.
okay. Stand by for just a second. Okay, we're back.
Chair, point of personal privilege.
Which point of personal privilege?
Are we now earning time and a half?
Yes, you are getting overtime pay 1.5 times 0. So the motion was made by Member Brooks to suspend the rules and make this amendment. The operating rules say 2/3 required. The Attorney General opinion authored by General Abbott say give guidance around when you can use 2/3 and 1/2. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the more conservative thing here and say we need a half. So you need more than 50% of the present and voting members in order to suspend the rules. Any questions? Point of information, Dr. Clark?
Yes,
Which
point
point
of
of information?
Is this moving forward or is this only applied to this amendment?
Her suspension of the rules is just for this amendment.
Okay.
Good question. Okay. So we got the motion, we have a second. The motion, a second?
Did someone second it, Chairman?
Okay, the first vote we'll take is the motion to suspend the rules and allow the amendment. This is not debatable. So the rule, again, is the one I was just explaining. So all those in favor of suspending the rules to allow Member Brooks' amendment, please show by raising your hand. Nine, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 090. That is suspended. Member Brooks, you want to speak to your amendment?
Mr. Chair, I do. I've been listening to not only constituents, but I was also looking at the framework for this grade, third grade level. And not only does it go into ancient civilization, but it also compares it to the United States history and Texas history. And there's not a lot of America or Texas history here. So I thought this would be a good place to talk about government and civics as it relates to democracy and really rights. As we're talking about Greece, ancient Greece, and their early ideas of democracy, I thought it would be most appropriate here to show students what their constitutional rights are in the vein of principles of liberty here.
Okay, is there debate on the pending motion? Do you have something, Dr. Fraser?
To speak to what Member Brooks just said, and since you're talking about the rise of democracy in the Greek city-states, one of the critical parts of that is understanding the responsibilities of the polis, the people. And part of what they had to do was to show up armed to protect the polis. And so that's actually a direct descendant. So yeah, that's a nice connection.
Okay, is there a debate on the pending motion? The remainder debate?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate Dr. Fraser's explanation of that because I was just trying to struggle a little bit to see what the connection was to the rest of the section. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, is that it asked the content advisor that is there a way to word that where it connects better with the rest of the section?
I think I would mention the word polis in there and the responsibility of citizenship, including showing up with the gear to defend your community. It's pretty much baked into that Greek experience.
Further debate? Ready to vote? All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Are there further amendments? Member Childs for an amendment.
Yes, just one. I was using the consensus document for this one in 5.2L, fifth grade.
Is that on the screen what you wanted, Ms. Childs?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a motion, a second? You want to speak to your motion?
Yes, I talked with Dr. Frazier about this at length. Point well taken about some of the folks that were brought to the West Indies, but there were indeed folks brought to the United States, well, what is now the United States as well. So this is more accurate.
Dr. Frazier?
Yeah, to reconstruct the conversation that Member Childs and I had, I think this is more precise language. West Indies was where the enslaved were seasoned before they distributed throughout the Caribbean basin and into North America. 11 million people are trafficked out of West Africa. Of that, 500,000 end up in North America. So this is an America's plural story. And I think that captures that a lot better than the specificity of the West Indies.
Mr.
Member Pickering?
Yes, I'd like to-
Discussion?
Yes, sir. Well, actually, I'd like to make a secondary amendment.
Is there any discussion on this? Member Pickering, you're recognized for an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My secondary amendment would be to strike G in entirety because H describes exactly what Mr. Frazier was just saying.
May I respond, Chairman?
Rebecca. You can't get there from here, Member Pickering. You would have to suspend the rules like Member Brooks just successfully did. What's your point of information?
Did Member Childs also suspend the rules?
No, Chairman, I turned mine in.
Yeah, I believe ours was turned in.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, debate on the pending motion. Ready to vote? All those in favor of Member Child's amendment, please show by raising your hand. Ten, thank you. All those opposed, please show by raising your hand. 3, 10-3, motion carries. Further amendments, Member Childs?
That's it for elementary. Thank you.
Further amendments from anyone? Vice Chair Lowe.
Ms. Kay, did you get things that I just recently sent you? Well, these are the same ones that just have some deletions on them. Well, they have some addition. It's complicated. There's a bunch. I did it by string.
Member Little for amendment.
All right. Okay, these have been submitted by strands, not by grade level. Do you want me to do them by grade level or by the way you've got them? I can do them by grade level, if that would be easier for you.
It may be, but are you trying to, let me ask you this, do you want to adopt them all by strand?
No,
No? Okay, then it's easier to do grade level. Okay.
okay, we'll start with kindergarten. No, I'm not doing that one. Take that one off. I'm not gonna do that one. Sorry.
It'd be easier if you tell me which one you want.
Okay, let's go to kindergarten. Kindergarten 3A.
Okay.
And where it says retail using pictures after that comma, I want to insert the word a globe.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all for kindergarten.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Oh.
Speak to it.
No, just to include the skill of using a globe for kindergartners. And now, first grade?
Are you gonna make them all together?
No.
All right, is there any debate? Is there any objection? Seeing none, it's adopted. Member Little.
Okay, this would be first grade. I think it's 1A. Okay, yes. Okay, after locate, I want to say locate on and create. And then it will say a map, and we need to add the word of.
Motion second, you want to speak to it?
Same thing, just adding an additional geography lesson or additional skill within this SE.
Member Pickering, for discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we just made a lot of amendments to streamline and condense. So can staff comment on how many breakouts this creates?
This would double the breakouts because you'd have to locate all of the things below and then create a map, all of the things below.
And can you just tell me what number that would be,
Sure.
please?
1, 3, 4, 5. On a map is also utilized.
I just sent you an
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If I could, while she's looking for that, these were things that were identified that were missing as important concepts. And actually, it came about how they were missing when we compared it to the old TEKS. And that's why I'm making these amendments, is because these are things that we did not find in our new TEKS that were in our old TEKS.
All right. So this now says what this said.
This is second. I'm sorry, you're right. It is grade 1. I was looking at my next one. I'm sorry, Mr. Maynard, it's grade 1. Okay, that's correct. I'd also like to point out that staff is the one that helped me work on these.
Debate.
Mr. Chairman,
Chair Pickering for debate.
I believe that staff now has an answer on the number of breakouts.
Shannon.
The original count was 10. This would take it up to 20.
Just this one?
Yes, because of, you put an and at the beginning of the sentence, so it goes from a locate, just locating and identifying cardinal directions to locating all of that set. And now we're creating on a map, which doubles the breakouts.
Okay, then take it out.
Any objection with your withdrawing?
Yes, I'm going to
Any
withdraw
objection to
that.
the withdrawal? Seeing none, it's withdrawn.
Okay, now we're going to grade 2, and this will be a new B.